Okay, so Dwayne, to answer your question about students creating docs in classroom, what they would do is, typically they would create a doc in Google Drive. If you have created an assignment for them, then they can attach their own Google Docs to that particular assignment. And hopefully that makes sense.
We can we could show you how to do that too if you need that, Dwayne.
I actually have a help document that I'll find and put a link to here for that, Dwayne. So that's coming. Hold on, just give me a second. I gotta find it.
Yeah, once Karen is back,
I'm back.
I'll try to demo. Okay, great.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good.
So I'm gonna go ahead and pop back to my screen on Google Classroom. So, I'm not actually there yet. So there are multiple ways that you can get through Google Classroom. There's a link directly in Clever. Over here on the right-hand corner in the Google Apps icon, you can see it right there. But if you just Google Google Classroom, it will come up. And so I'm going to click on it. And I have many classrooms. So if you've just kind of played with it, you might have one or two. And the way you're going to set it up is you just click the plus sign in the upper right-hand corner, and you're going to create a class. So you said you're at Kennedy, correct?
Correct, yeah.
How many students do you see?
Oh, well, I have MMS and support classes, and for that I see approximately, 15 students, and I have tutorial classes, and for that I see approximately 10 students total.
Okay, so the reason why I asked is because you might want to create 2 different classrooms. If you don't mind looping all the kids in one, you could do, just lump them all into one if they're going to get similar assignments. But just for the sake of practicing this, I'm just going to call this a practice class.
Okay.
And you can leave the rest of the information blank, and I'm just going to click create.
Okay.
And it is still creating. Okay, here we go. So the most important piece of information for your students is in this upper left-hand corner. And
it creates, okay, yeah,
that's your class code. Right. So that is the one that you're going to have to share, whether it's through the email via PowerSchool. You could also share it on Clever. But that is the code that they will need.
Okay.
So the layout of Google Classroom is the stream is where announcements will show up. I actually don't use it too often. You could ask your students questions here and start up some chat if you wanted to. But the main page that you're going to be working from is the classwork tab. So up here at the top, it's the second one. And here is where you have the options of the different types of assignments or materials that you might share with your students. So anything that your kids are going to be working on, and there's a product involved, you're going to want to create an assignment.
Yeah.
Anything that you want kids, say, to just read, or it's a reference or resource, you would put that under material. And you can also create quizzes in here, and you can also create questions. So if you just wanted to ask your students as a check-in every day, how are you doing? That is one type of question, and this is where you would put it in.
Okay.
So to assign work to your class, you would just click on the word assignment. And this is the easiest way to do this. And Dwayne, I think this is going to speak to your question as well. I could just put any topic I wanted to. So say I'm going to do a book review. Nice generic topic, book review. I'm going to say, any directions that I want students to do, I'm going to put in here. So I might just say, please write a 5-paragraph book review. I'm just doing this to be fast.
Okay.
Include as many details. Include details. Okay, there we go. You get the gist of this. So let's see, from here, you want to make sure, let's see if there's a due date for, where is my, okay, so I'm going to create a template for students. This format has actually changed a little bit, and that's why I lost a little bit of my grounding here. So I'm going to go into, I'm going to create a doc.
Yeah.
And it's just going to be a blank document. I'm not going to give any other guidance because it's basically like a sheet of paper that I just put in front of them, just like this.
Yeah.
So, you know, on the simplest end, I'm going to title it. I'm going to put book review. If I wanted to, I could, again, here, put some more instructions. Let's see. Okay, and then I'm going to go ahead. This is weird. This looks different to me. Okay, so I've got my untitled document. Hopefully that's going to refresh because I did title it book review.
Yeah.
So the most important part of this is how you assign it. You want to make sure each student gets their own copy of it.
Okay.
So if you just put view, they can't edit. If you put edit, it's one document that all of your students are on at the same time. So just ignore those other two.
Okay.
Just make a copy for each student. And then on the side, so there are some fancy things that you could do. You could change the assignment date. So up here under assign in the upper right-hand corner, if I know that I want students to be doing this, say, you know, next Monday, I could click schedule, and I could just set the date and time so that students will receive that assignment at that particular time. So it's kind of nice to do advanced layout planning like that. And let's see, from there, I'm just going to go ahead and click assign. And I'm thinking I might want to go through that again if you'd like me to, Karen.
Sure, yeah. This is kind of jogging my memory a little bit because, like I said, I had a bit of Google Classroom experience, but really not very much. So it's somewhat familiar, but yeah, if you wouldn't mind going through it again, that would be helpful.
Sure.
I'd retain more of it this time.
Believe me, the Google products change so frequently. I constantly need to go through it and just refresh myself again because they changed the layout. And as I was looking at it, I even had to do a little bit of, I did a little double take on it. So here's the assignment. And then what students would see first when they join your Google Classroom, see there's an announcement. It said that I posted an assignment book review. So they would see that, and then they would click on it and open it up. Now, for Dwayne's question about can students add other assignments, since I'm in the teacher mode, you can't see this right now. However, on the student screen, they have options on the side that would enable them to upload any other documents. So if they wanted to create their own type of format or a Google slide, they could do that. Let's see, let me go back. And so from the beginning, to assign the classwork, I'm going to click create. I'm going to create an assignment. And I'm just going to title it. And I am going to add just a blank Google Doc. So I'm going to click create and docs. That's just like me handing them a piece of paper.
Okay.
I'm going to go ahead and just name that book review 2. And any guidance information that I would want to give them, if I was giving them a template or sentence starters, anything like that, I can go ahead and provide that here if I wanted to. Now I'm going to go back to my classwork page, and it's there. And I'm going to change the way they're going to receive the assignment so everyone gets their own copy. And just because this is the second book review that I'm going to assign, I'm going to schedule it, and I'm going to schedule it so that kids would get it tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. And I'm going to press schedule. And that's done. So if you'll notice on my screen now, the active assignment, book review 1 is posted, but it's also showing that I have another assignment in there, and it tells me that it's scheduled for students to get it tomorrow at 8 a.m.
Okay, and this just shows up on the main screen of the classroom, the screen, I think it's called. Okay.
Yeah, the classroom page. So one other thing I wanted to show you is that you can also add, so for example, if you're having students read an article, or there's a website that you wanted students to look at and then come back, or you wanted them to watch a YouTube video and come back, then I would click on the word add. Anything that you have a URL for, so a YouTube video or any other reference site, you would just click the word, so click link,
and
then you would,
it in there.
Yes, you would post that website there. And then if you had a particular file, so for example, if you decided to take a picture of something that you wanted kids to review, and it could be like a worksheet or something, or a reference sheet that you would typically photocopy and give in class, you could just take a picture of that and you would be able to upload that file and then put it in here as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is what it would look like. So if I had taken a picture of something, I could just upload it. And typically, if I take pictures with my cell phone, I email the pictures to myself, and then I open those pictures on my computer. That's typically how I would do that. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and press schedule again. I didn't really make any changes, but yeah, the only thing that you cannot change if you decide to go back and edit is how you're sharing the assignment. So let me see if it'll let me see where it says each student will get a copy. The box next to it has been grayed out. So if you make a mistake, and I have made this mistake, where I forgot to press each student will get a copy, you have to delete that entire assignment and just start it all over again. Yeah, so it's not something, that is one aspect that you cannot change. Okay, now, I do want to talk a little bit about the People tab. So that's where you will see your students showing up. And I'm bringing it up because typically during the school year, this is where teachers, a space where teachers would be putting in restrictions on who is able to chat and how they're able to use the stream portion of the Google Classroom page. I don't have any options right here, right now, because there are no students in my classroom.
Actually, Darcy, they moved it to settings, and it's under general. So it's right there where it says stream, and then it says students can post.
Okay, yeah, I just looked at it now. Yeah, but the muting doesn't appear until you add students. So remember, unless they took away that option, because that's a separate option. On the stream, the posting and commenting. So if you want to restrict students.
Sorry, yeah, I'm trying to navigate two things. I wanted to see what they're saying on this. Oops, I think I'm talking. Sorry.
So anyway, if you don't want students to be posting and commenting, click only teachers can post or comment and save that. But once you have some other students,
check in.
Someone's mic is on. I'm not sure if that's you, Karen.
Well, I don't. The mic is a little red logo, right? It's a little red.
Yeah. That's okay if I hear you, because I'm answering your questions.
All right.
Us to listen to for a little bit, Mr. Hunter? Or?
I no.
We're all on here.
Okay. So, Karen, did I answer your question?
Sure.
Yeah. I don't want to monopolize the discussion. I know there's several people taking part right now, and I don't want it to be all about me. Let's move on to other questions.
And we're going to be back here tomorrow morning as well. So if you want me to go through that all over again, I'm totally happy to do it. So maybe now go in and try it, set up your classroom so that we can better help you troubleshoot if there are any, bumps in the road.
Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna hang out here a while, kind of keep a low profile and listen to some of the other exchanges.
Okay, it was a pleasure to help you, Karen.
Thank you.
Also, I'm putting up a, I just put up on the website resources for Google Classroom, including getting started with Google Classroom. So that'll be published in just a second. I think I just have to hit the right button. And then what I'll do is I'll put the link directly to that page here in the chat.
Okay.
Thank you, Lori. Dwayne, yes, you will be able to see the recorded meeting later, but I think Lori said it took about 24 hours or something. It took a long time for the video to process, and then she's going through and editing them to just get the particular mini lessons out of it. So it would probably be available tomorrow. Is that correct, Lori?
Yeah, and I'm going to be really truthful. This is the first time that I've done this kind of thing. So I've been struggling with it. So it's some really productive struggle though, because I'm learning a lot. So please give me a little bit of time. I'm hoping by the end of sometime tonight, I'll have both of them up for yesterday and today. I don't know how edited they're going to be because again, I'm struggling with that right now. I'm just trying to get it into the right format. That's where I am with that.
So I'm going through the chat right now and I'm seeing that Flipgrid came up. Thank you, Allison. In the teacher training, the slide deck that was provided, there is a tutorial that I made step-by-step going through setting up Flipgrid. And I think on the last slide, one of the last slides, it mentions the disco, what is it called?
Library. Disco library.
Got the half that. So the Disco Library is a fantastic place to be looking up topic ideas, and you can just go ahead and assign those ideas directly with minimal to no editing.
Let me jump in real quick on that also about Flipgrid. Darcy, I was thinking I would send Juliet just an invitation to the Flipgrid Disco Library that we did with RevUp, just so she could experience it from the student side, and a link to Disco Library. So Juliet, watch your email and I'll shoot you info, and then I'll CC Darcy, and we've been teaching Flipgrid. So feel free to keep reaching out to us about that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, in particular, now that Epic Books is available, hopefully many people took advantage of the 3 months free promo code. The Disco Library has some topics in there that specifically refer to Epic Books. So it tells students exactly what books to read, link them to it, and then the prompts have to do with that. Let's see. Trying to think, Wonderopolis, those links are also the, those ideas in the Disco Library are also awesome because Wonderopolis is essentially a kid's collection of things that they wonder about. It's kind of, it reminds me a little bit of Mystery Science. So it's just authentic questions that kids have about the world. Many of them do have to do with science. I'm sure there are things about coronavirus on there. And then the staff writers at Wonderopolis, kind of like Newsella, will write an article about that topic. And I think the questions are just really evocative and interesting to kids. So you'll find some really great topics from that. I'm just reading the sidebar chat. Yeah, parents, so much love to all of you. Julia, I'm also going to refer back again to where you said you'd like more training on Flipgrid from their end. The manual, the teacher's guide to Flipgrid, it's linked in that one presentation. And Allison, if you haven't sent that email to Juliet already, can you add the link to the Flipgrid guide for teachers? And it's version 4 that they're on. It changes every few months. Yeah, so I can send that to you if you need it, but I believe it's linked to the Flipgrid presentation.
I also want to mention that Flipgrid has put up a lot of new resources, and they're packaged specifically for distance learning. So that's something I haven't had a chance to take a look at. They've been putting a lot out on Twitter in the past few days. So definitely go check them out. I just went to flipgrid.com just to see if I can quickly find those resources, and then I'll link them here in the chat.
It's linked, yeah. And the one place where I put all of those resources was in the teacher slide book that I think all of the schools got. So if you've got that handy in your Google Drive, you would just click on the slide that says Flipgrid and click on the presentation, and then that guidebook is linked in there.
And then I do also want to just say, Julia, I know we've just told you to go look at like 5 different documents. So thank you for putting in your specific, the specific question also that your students are emailing saying they can't join, and that you're looking specifically for math ideas. I will still email you and send you some of this stuff directly. I don't know about you, but I'm feeling a little overwhelmed by how many different documents there are. So yeah. I'll send that over to you. Lucy, let me find the link for the slide book and send it to you, okay? So yeah, so you'll have Flipgrid resources from us, and you'll have Flipgrid resources from all that stuff. I'll shoot you an email.
And the link to the slide book is on our website. The EWCC eLearning website. When you click on teachers and you click elementary, it's there. And I just grabbed the link, and I'm going to go ahead and put it in the chat in just a second.
Sorry, no background music.
No, I saw, Robert, that you mentioned that. Cicely, we need a morning song. I was thinking we could put on We Are Family, Lori.
We're gonna get through this together once we shelter in place all morning for the next 3 weeks.
All right.
Sorry, I saw Dwayne's question. He put in a quick question. Dwayne, you said if a doc is created in Classroom, will it automatically be shared back to you? If you create an assignment and you say that each student is going to get their own copy of it, you are actually the owner of all of those documents. So anything that you post in Google Classroom you're gonna find it in your drive under Classroom. So yes, kids actually, you can do a thing where they share their document with you. They share it back to you once they're finished with it as a way of signaling that they're finished. I know some teachers like to do that, but you will be the owner. And Darcy and Laurie, correct me if I'm wrong, but yeah.
That's exactly right, Allison. I did put the link directly to the Flipgrid ebook. And the reason why I like it so much is that it's just not a step-by-step tutorial on setup. They have a compilation of resources on how teachers, like master Flipgrid users across the country, have integrated it in their classrooms. So you'll get a lot of really good ideas. It's ridiculously long. It's how many pages is this thing?
Yeah, it's
40
it's
pages long.
It's a lot of information, but you know, if you have no idea what Flipgrid is and you want to check it out, I would say go look at like some of the later pages, because first create an account, but then if you look through the later pages, there are all these ideas. And I think that's really helpful. Also, Dwayne, just so you know, I did put a link, and if you just go to the eLearning site and click on teachers and then click on learning for teachers, I just posted a whole bunch of resources around using Google Classroom. And one of them is that create a copy for each student, where everyone gets a template.
So Lucy, the Flipgrid manual, I'm typing this in, but it is applicable to all grades.
Yes.
And they have ideas in there relevant for both primary and secondary.
I'm going to be honest. I think everything that we're putting up is pretty much relevant for almost all grades. Mm-hmm. There might be a few things like little kids sort of reading sort of things, but I would say most of them will work for any grade.
And on the topic of Flipgrid, I'm going to promote again just the idea of having a daily check-in, just a hello, how are you? You know, teachers just make a 2-minute video, just sending your care and thoughts of support and your smiles. Like, I kind of think that that's going to be welcome medicine to kids right now. And just creating that little social pocket for them that they can look forward to in the morning. You know, just ask them, what have you been doing at home? Anything funny, anything exciting? And then, you know, most likely if you start off with that just fun and flexible tone for the day, when you later on ask them to go read a book in Epic and then tell you what their thoughts were on it, they're going to engage in that. Oh, Lucy, that's wonderful. Your kids are messaging you. I'm reading through the chat. So Robert, I love that you put up that post about your son watching the Mo Willems doodling video. Arts Hub for Kids is a really wonderful YouTube channel. It's a man, his wife and his 2 kids, they make these how to draw videos. So it's an entire collection of just drawing tutorials, and I think it's probably okay for pretty much any grade level. They're really well done. And that link is posted. I put it on the sample planning template that you received at your training last week. Okay, Lucy, you mentioned that students are putting in inappropriate comments or pictures. Is that for Flipgrid? Or is that on Google Classroom? Google Classroom, okay. For teachers that are interested in using Flipgrid, having it on moderation mode is gonna really limit students taking the time to make those inappropriate or off-topic videos. You just need to make it clear to them that you are moderating all those videos before they're shared with everyone else. And after they get that, chances are they're not even going to bother doing the silly stuff unless it's to make you laugh. And in that way, I think it's a more powerful platform than Google Classroom in terms of keeping up healthy social conversation. Francie just mentioned that Rachel Porzig is doing story time. Is she posting those videos? She's posting them on Facebook, but I'm not sure if it's Facebook Live, if they're just pre-recorded videos or not. Storyline Online is another perfect read aloud option. Yeah, thanks, Allison. And again, I also put that link on the teacher planning sheet. And we're going to work on building one, just a sample schedule with amounts of times for the different learning blocks of the day. We're going to do that by grade level. That's something that Allison and Lori and Marin Trujillo and I are working on. And all of those links, such as to Storyline or Arts Hub, will be on there. Yeah, and Dwayne, this speaks to your comment for Lucy. Yeah, they're emailing you and commenting in the Google Classroom stream. So yeah, in the Google Classroom stream, again, you can turn off students' ability to comment. It's in the settings so that only you can post and comment. And then, I mean, if things in Google Classroom are the way they were a couple months ago, you have the additional option of muting students, I think. I'm gonna go to my Google Classroom and check.
I'm sorry, what was the question again?
Lucy was mentioning that some of her students are making inappropriate comments in the Google Classroom stream. So I was just reminding that change the settings.
Yeah, absolutely. You can turn it off completely so that they can't comment and they also cannot start a discussion.
And that also turns off chat in between documents. Yes, so I just double checked in one of my own classrooms. The mute option is still available. So that is a further step from just not allowing them to post and comment. And the way you do that is you go to the people page, and then you would select all the students in the classroom, or just select the few students that are not participating appropriately. And then an option will come up that says mute, and then that will cut things off. Okay, yeah, for that one student, just mute them as well.
I saw Robert's question about your 6 students that were absent on Friday.
Yeah.
That is definitely hard. And now that the district is kind of shut down, it is a hard question. I think that we don't quite know yet. It's possible there might be some way to get them materials, and I think that folks are working a little bit on that. I would reach out to your principal. I think the principals are getting communications from district admin and see if they have any answers. And if they don't, come back here or email elearning@wccusd.net and ask us there. I don't have an answer to that question right now, though.
Yeah, everything that we had thought we were going to do to support the students that were absent on Friday completely changed with the governor's announcement of the shelter in place yesterday at 1. So we'll just keep, brainstorming what we can do.
There was a little discussion about whether we could pass things out at the food distribution site. So I think if there's any possibility of getting things to people, that would probably be the way. But that would involve somehow getting those devices to those places from schools that are closed right now. So yeah, definitely ask your principal. And if you get any information, I'd be really curious to hear what you found out. We should ask about that at 1 o'clock also at our meeting, Darcy and Laurie.
Mm-hmm.
Allison and all, regarding the piece, I'm curious if the students in Robert's class have Chromebooks, because right now, as we speak, we're working on a lot of documents that if they do have Chromebooks, that they could access.
And I'm not totally sure what you're asking. I guess I thought what he meant is that they didn't get their Chromebook. So Robert, you would need to clarify that.
Okay, this makes me my heart is so happy right now, Lucy and Dwayne, that you're gonna collaborate together. Yay! Okay, I'm so cheesy. This is my St. Patrick's Day green. That was like my gold at the end of the rainbow. So yay! That's exactly what we want here. You're welcome.
Hi, Darcy. Darcy, this is Kristen. I'm taking notes, and I just noticed that there was a question above from Lucy. Do you have a list of free educational sites that automatically populate classes from Google Classroom? For example, she knows Grammaropolis and Edpuzzle do, but is there a master list of the different sites that will automatically populate?
I don't have that list. Well, okay, Francie has done a really outstanding job compiling a list that populates by both Clever. Her focus was more Clever.
There's a list out there.
So the answer is no, I do not have it. There is a list out there, and now I will find it.
Yeah, I think I know who has the list.
Oh,
or I think I know where it is out there in the world. Let's just put it that way.
Okay. Okay, that list will be gold. Okay.
It's like being Dora the Explorer. Okay.
That's an excellent question. Thank you for answering that or asking that.
Thank you, Francie. Francie just put up the Clever list.
I'm going to go ahead and ask a question of Francie. Brain Pop. So I saw that there was an application procedure for requesting Brain Pop, and it looked like the site admin needed to do that. And I did receive a question from a teacher who, just wanted to request it. Is this something that it's best for you to request? That free access on behalf of the district, so that then the appropriate link can go through Clever? Or what is your recommendation on that?
So we talked about this early on because it was made available, but I get yelled at once a week because Brain Pop is gone. I can request it, but it's going to go away in 2 months, which is going to reinvigorate the people who are mad that Brain Pop is gone.
Right.
So at 1 o'clock today, if you guys decide you want me to request it for the district, when you're meeting with IT, I can do that. But I'm going to share the angry emails for the next year with you.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm going to say my little piece again about all these free apps. That there are a lot of companies that usually charge who are now graciously offering it to be free while schools are shut down. I just want to remind people to be wary. because what's probably going to happen is after all this is said and done, and you go back in and you try to use it again, they are going to try to charge you. So just remember, you know, this is something they are trying to get you to try their application so that you'll love it, and then you'll absolutely need it, and then you'll, you know, maybe spend your own money or try to ask your school for that money. So please just keep that in mind when these folks come. They're kind of like wolves in sheep's clothing. Yeah, I went there. That's how I feel about them right now.
Yeah, I would agree with that as well. As much as I love Brain Pop, I think that there would be a lot of complications with us, you know, removing that access in 2 months. So I've just had several questions from teachers asking what they should do, and I told them to hold off until we made a district decision on it. So again, at 1 o'clock, we can discuss it and weigh out the pros and cons.
Just to clarify, we keep talking about this 1 o'clock meeting. A set of us, Darcy and Laurie and I and multiple other people are kind of on the team pushing everything out right now. And we are meeting with Tracy Logan and other leaders at 1 o'clock every day. So the questions that we can't answer when we say the 1 o'clock meeting, we're taking those questions to that meeting to make sure that the district higher up folks know that those questions are coming up from teachers. Like, we are the line from you guys to people who are making some of the decisions that we can't necessarily make. So keep asking the questions.
I just found a list of apps that work with Google Classroom. That is actually, you can search by topic, because the list is like over 70 applications long. So it's a lot, and a lot of them I've never heard of, I'll be honest. But I'm going to link that onto the eLearning site, onto the page for Learning for Teachers.
Okay, I'm looking at the time, and time flies when you're having fun. And we have about 10 minutes. So if there are any requests to demo any particular websites or to share our screens on how to do something, please ask us now. Lucy, yeah, we don't know. We don't know if we're going to be out longer than April 13th. Yeah, we'll keep you posted as we know. I think for those of you here that are UTR members, I believe that there's a 1 p.m. I think it's Facebook Live. Double check your email from UTR yesterday, because I believe today there's a 1 p.m. virtual meet. We got our background music after all.
Hey folks, I just set up just a little Flipgrid. If you want to go ahead and try that out. Oh, Lucy, so can I say something about Kahoot real quick? I love Kahoot, I really do. But recently I found out, I was like, ooh, I fell back in love with Kahoot because they had all these great features. And then they just kept, every time I opened Kahoot, they would try to sell me their Kahoot Pro, try and sell me Kahoot Pro. It's driving me crazy. So I quit using it, but I have a feeling that would sort of be the thing that would come up, if you went ahead and used Kahoot Pro, fell in love with it, and then when this is all said and done, you went to try to use it again, and they would try to sell you Pro. So I'm just saying, be wary. I would say try out Quizzes, which is completely free. And that's Q-U-I-Z-I-Z-Z. I'm just going to type in Quizzes. I think it's quizzes.com.
And Lucy, I saw that you paid for it. Just out of curiosity, how much was that? If you don't mind sharing, just curious.
Well, good. As long as you think it's worth it. I personally didn't feel it was worth it, but I also pay for other things that I personally feel are worth it. So good. And Quizzes isn't clever, yes.
So I'm just laughing at the music. It's fantastic. Astronauts are reading from space. This is the best thing, Ellison. Thank you. Story time from space.
That is so cool.
Oh my gosh, I got to click on it right now.
I know, that's what I'm doing.
It looks like it's really cool. Their hair like all crazy.
Get out.
It looks like it's like Storyline Online, but like from space and not so rehearsed, probably.
Oh
but I feel like that's one of those things that people could do as like a fun, like check this out today, right? Like it doesn't have to be on the list of something that you check out every day, but today for Read Aloud, try out, Astronauts in Space. Tomorrow, try out Storyline Online. The day after, try out Rivet or whatever it is. So
we were talking about Flipgrid prompts. I was looking at the first book on there. I have not read it. Ada Lace, Take Me to Your Leader. What a fantastic prompt, just to like put out something like that in Flipgrid and say, okay, this is you want to be taken to the aliens leader. What would these aliens look like? What would you ask for? Would you be scared? There's so many things that you could do with really open-ended, fun, imaginative topics like that. Or ask kids to just read just listen to the first 10 minutes of it, stop, and then come back and answer a prompt about it.